All right, and welcome into the Fantasy Pros NFL Draft Show. The 2025 NFL Draft has come and gone, which means time to grade how each NFL franchise did, starting with this episode in the AFC. I'm your host, Seth Woolcock, settling in after a weekend where we had some amazing content right here on the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel. And today I'm joined by my partner in crime, my PIC, our NFL draft expert here at Fantasy Pros, Derek Brown. D-Bro, how are you? Were you able to touch any grass yesterday since the process was finally concluded?
I have not touched grass. The hours of sleep have been limited, but dude, we're sitting here rocking it, and I just want to shout out everybody, like you hit it off the top, Seth. Everybody at Fantasy Pros, both forward-facing and the production team, everybody behind the scenes, the people that you don't hear from as much, but you still love the content, everybody at Fantasy Pros, look, sub, like, enjoy the content, add to the comments and stuff like that. Hat tip to everybody on our team, because I think as a company, as a content team, as a production team, everybody from the very, very top to part-timers, we all crushed it. And so I'm immensely grateful for yourself and everybody else on the Fantasy Pros team, man. I thought we put out some of, if not the best content in the space, so people aren't tuning into that, whether it's podcast, article form, on YouTube, everywhere. And shout out to you, dude. I thought you absolutely just crushed it on the NFL draft stream both days, dude. Whether it was like in front of the camera or handling everything on the back end. I mean, I know is at how much work that goes into this. So I appreciate everything you do, Seth, man.
Well, Derek, I appreciate you too, man. I appreciate the entire team. It was great to have those live streams, and yeah, between Friday and Saturday and Sunday, we had about 30 plus clips come out from the stream with our live reactions. Some very giddy Derek Browns moments were on there for sure. And so make sure you guys are checking out the entire channel. If you have questions about a specific player, what the fantasy football impact means, we'll have those clips for you. They're right on the channel. Make sure you're checking them out. Make sure you're checking out the website as well, where at fantasypros.com, you can check out Andrew Erickson's article where he did a draft grade for every single team, Derek, kind of what we're doing today, but in written form, which is way harder than talking about it.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Hat tip to Erickson. I mean, I tell him all the time, not that he overwrites, but that man puts in some words, dude, and he did some heavy lifting. So if you appreciate everything we're doing here, you have to go check out Andrew Erickson's article on the site right now. It is a monster. It is in depth. But look, you can piecemeal, you can go through, hop to team, whichever team is your team or players you want to hear about. Go do it, man. Fantastic article.
As Derek noted on today's show, we'll be going division by division, breaking down each AFC team's haul and how we grade them. And before we jump in, if you guys can do us a quick favor and just give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy this type of content, and subscribe if you're new. And D-Bro, let's go ahead and jump into the Tennessee Titans, starting things off. They had obviously the first overall pick, and then they kept adding and adding and adding. What is your grade for the Tennessee Titans and how they're starting off this rebuild with Cam Ward?
I'm going to give them an A-. And I think the way that they approached, like I could have even given them an A+ and stuff like that. I guess so from the top, we all knew Cam Ward was going to be their first selection in the draft. So no surprises there. I really loved what they did in the second and the third round. Getting Femi Oladejo, they don't really have much of a pass rush. Now they possibly do. Femi was somebody who was getting like late first round, possible like mocks and grades. He falls all the way to pick 52, which I think is a smash. Getting Kevin Winston Jr. in the third round, who was a player that there was a little bit of talk about maybe he snuck into the second round. So again, fantastic value. The only thing that precludes me from giving them an A+ and why I'm at an A- is I really believe in that selecting your rookie quarterback, the future of your franchise, I want you to surround him with weapons. And they got Calvin Ridley there, I get it, but that's not enough. They got the running backs, but it's not enough. Now, I will say, to the Titans' credit, they basically were like, okay, we're taking defense because that's what fell to us, probably at the top of their board when they were on the clock, and I understand that. They really tried, Seth, to go and backfill as many weapons as they could on the back end. With they got Dyke out of Florida, they got Gunnar Helm, tight end, in the fourth round, and testing and not precluding like what we think about him. I think there's a possibility like he can turn into a solid starting NFL tight end. Then they get Alec Ayomanor And then rounding out the roster, getting Khalil Mullings at the very, very end of it is kind of whatever. But, like, I think the shots that they took on in the 4th round with all 3 of their 4th-round picks, trying to give Cam Ward weapons and saying, look, we've got the Van Jeffersons of the world. Yeah, Tyler Lockett's going to be a steady veteran and stuff like that. He's only there for 1 year. We also have some leeway of, like, if one of these guys is good enough, like if Dyke or if Aoman are good enough, it's not to say there's not a path of either one of them hopping Van Jefferson, whether it's week 1 or some point in the season, and being a starter and maybe proving themselves. But I wish that they would have, like, spent maybe one of these top 3 round picks on a pass catcher for Cam Ward. But I understand, and I kind of feel like they knew they need to add weapons. So, like, with the concentrated attack on weapons in the 4th round, I give him an A-, and I think it was a great draft for this franchise, but I can't give him an A+.
Okay. No,
where did you fall?
That's completely understandable. I gave them just a solid A because I really do like, of course, a Penn State fan, so I'm a little bit biased by Kevin Winston Jr. Yeah, and like the thing about Kevin Winston Jr. is he didn't play barely at all this year. He had 3 games and he got injured. He sat out the rest of the year, so I think there's definitely a potential that he was a round 2 pick, maybe potentially even sneaking into day 1 if he was fully healthy this season. And like, you know me, dude. Like, I'm with Brett Whitefield on the love for Alec Aoman. This is one of my favorite prospects in the draft. And then they got Khalil Mullins in the 7th round as well, running back kind of out of Michigan. And like, not only do I like these players from a production standpoint, but their culture fits, right? Like, these are tough, hard-nosed team players that I think will fit perfectly in this system. And you mentioned that I don't love like the Helm pick. I think that was a little early. I don't love the DK pick either. I think that might have been a little early for him. But at the same time, they grabbed Xavier Restrepo, who is Cam Ward's favorite guy, off the undrafted free agent list. So overall, like, I do like it. I understand I probably would have liked to see them take a day 2 shot on a better pass catcher. But I thought Alec was a day 2 guy. So to get him in day 3, I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, and I still, like, this is maybe still an outside chance, like maybe they sign some, because look, Keenan Allen and Amari Cooper are still out there too. So like maybe this is also something where they're like, they go with like full veterans starting 3 wide receivers. I kind of hope they don't, because to me, like, if you drafted all these talented, skilled players in the 4th round, you kind of hope that one of these guys steps up and maybe proves that maybe they're part of your future. So give them an avenue to do so. So personally, I hope they don't add another veteran. If they feel like they get in camp and stuff like that, and Cooper or Allen are still kind of hanging around waiting for an injury to happen to sign in camp, then I can understand it. But to me, I'm like, give the young guys also an avenue to prove themselves, and maybe like say, hey, I know I fell to the 4th round, but I'm worth way more than that, and I can be a huge part of this team's future.
Yeah, I'm all in on Tennessee, man. I got Cam Ward yesterday in a Dynasty Superflex draft at the 105, Derek. I was thrilled. Yeah, so wheels up for us on both Tennessee. Let's move to Jacksonville, where they made maybe the biggest move of the entire NFL draft, trading up in the 1st round to go and get their man, Travis Hunter. What did you like about Liam Cohen and company and what they did down in Duval?
I liked it. I didn't love it. Like, Erickson in his article gave them an A. I can't give them an A. Like, look, I understand the aggressive move up for Travis Hunter. They also spent a lot of capital to do so. I understand the home run swing. And if Travis Hunter ends up being him, he's elite. He's the guy that everybody hopes that he can be. And I hope that he can be too. He is going to be the guy that defines this class for them. And if he could be an all-pro and other world talent, then he is going to, we'll look back on this and maybe this is a true A class. I can't give them anything higher than a B, only because you look at what they did with the rest of their class. Like, Caleb Bransaw, okay, solid 3rd round pick. Walter Milam, okay, we added to the offensive line, but is that going to really push the needle, like getting a 3rd round guard? Bashal Tootin, 4th round. Like, I love Bashal Tootin, but like, you also still already had Travis Etienne. You still already had Tank Bigsby. Now, we could debate for days on what they can or cannot give you and what points they are in their career and how high or not high we are on their prospects. But, like, was running back something you really needed to address when maybe you could have also, like, gone the pass catcher route and stuff like that?
They addressed it twice, too. They got LaQuint Allen out of Syracuse in the 7th.
That's true, man. And it's kind of like, I would have rather they take another shot on a wide receiver or, you're looking at they had 2 6th, 2 7th round picks. Now we don't know if they did go the trade market and kind of knock on some doors and stuff and try to trade up, and that just didn't come to fruition. I just didn't feel like the rest of their draft. Like, look, Travis Hunter is awesome. I'm not saying that he's not, but I felt like looking at the rest of their draft as a whole, there's not like a ton of standout picks or guys that like where I'm like, okay, maybe Tootin is a needle mover, but if he's not, if he just kind of falls into the scrum and this is like a 3-way committee or ETN keeps the job, Tank Bigsby keeps the job, then it's an okay class. It's a good class, but it's not one that I'm walking away saying they deserve an A grade from me.
I can totally understand that. I went with a B+ because I do like the move for Travis Hunter, but like you said, they did give a king's ransom for it. And like trading your first round pick when you're a Jacksonville Jaguars organization that's traditionally drafted inside the top 5, the top 10, it's really hard to kind of sacrifice that. I love the pick for Wyatt Millam in the 3rd. Like, this was a guy who was once projected to be a late 1st, early 2nd rounder. I mean, West Virginia, man, they didn't have the best 2024 season, but in 2023, dude, they could move piles, man. They were one of the best rushing teams all around with Donaldson in the backfield, Garrett Green running wild as well. So I think he can bring some of that explosiveness to this run game, blocking up front there. And, like, I do agree. Like, it felt weird that I don't mind them drafting Tootin and LaQuint Allen, both players that I really liked in this class, but, like, why don't you move ETN then if you can? Why don't you move Tank Bigsby? Is there no market for those guys? Maybe that's it. And I did like the day 3 linebacker values as well. Notre Dame's Jack Kaiser, a guy who's played in some big-time games down the stretch in the college football playoffs. Jalen McLeod out of Auburn as well. I think at least one of those guys hits. You know, day 3 linebackers, you don't have the best success hit rate there, but I think maybe one of those guys get hit. So overall, it's a B+ for me, but I totally understand the concern, and you just got to hope, like, that they're at least a 500 team to make this trade with Cleveland pay off here.
Yeah, I mean, that's really kind of what you're hoping for. Maybe I should have given an A. Kaiser with his swag and the gold cleats, man. Maybe I didn't give it enough love. So there's that.
Also, James Gladstone, dude looks like he's my age. Looks like he's 25. I
was thinking it, dude. I wasn't going to say it, but I was thinking the same thing the whole time.
He's got the hoodie under the blazer. He's got that new school look. So at least James Gladstone had the stones to trade up, make a big move on day 1. Let's move to the Indianapolis Colts, where I think a lot of mixed reviews in this draft. Obviously, they go Tyler Warren early, JTT in round 2. But what did you think of their overall class, adding depth to this Colts team that's been pretty mediocre for the last decade or so?
Yeah, dude. I mean, look, I think they got a C from me. I like their first 2 picks. I like Tyler Warren.
Agreed.
I like JTT. And then I felt like it kind of goes off the damn rails.
Agreed.
Like, Justin Wiley, like, bro, you took him at 80. The highest EDP that he had during the entire process was in the hundreds, the 140s. You took him also. It just felt like such a reach, dude. Like, Noel Williams was still on the board. Jacob Parrish was still on the board. Either one of those cornerbacks, fine, go get one of them. Mm-hmm. Don't reach an extra round plus for another corner. We talked about corner being a need for this team. I thought they were going to possibly address corner early. So, okay, fine. I think there's something to be said for going and getting your guy, but that much of a pick, why don't you just trade down or take him in the freaking 4th round, dude?
Right.
That's where, like, then you look at the other picks after this. Like, I love DJ Giddens, and the fact that they got him in round 5, I thought was a steal.
Agreed.
But again, you got JT under contract. Like, why you're still paying Jonathan Taylor? Yeah, okay, fine. You want to fortify the room. Maybe Jonathan Taylor's not there next year, but as a 5th round running back, really going to move the needle for you in that? Or if he doesn't get on the field, are you telling me that maybe you're not going back if you do even get rid of Jonathan Taylor after this season? Are you not going right back to the running back well? Are you going to play DJ Giddens enough and you only invested 5th round capital in him to where he definitively has a role next year? And then Riley Leonard, round 6. Do we not have enough mobile, inaccurate quarterbacks on this damn roster already? We felt like we needed to go get another one? Like, Shane, I get it. We all got archetypes. We all got things we love about certain players. You like quarterbacks that can run and can't freaking throw the ball, apparently. Okay, fine. But why the hell are you drafting another one? I don't get it, dude. So, like, for me, I like their first 2 picks. I agree with their first 2 picks. But after that, I'm just kind of like the rest of this draft class just feels like a wet fart. But am I wrong, Seth?
No, you're right. And I gave him a B minus, and maybe.
Oh, you're being nice, dude.
Yeah,
you were being nice.
I think it's because the value at Warren at 14th overall feels huge. I think that is a slam dunk pick at 14. I love JTT in the second, but I agree with you completely. After that, it got really weird. They do have an out in Jonathan Taylor's contract after this season, so maybe they get rid of him. But Jonathan Taylor feels like such a good running back that you can't get rid of him for nothing unless you're trading him or something. So, and then I agree with you on Riley Leonard. Like, unless you're going to use him in like the Taysom Hill Swiss Army knife role, what are we doing there, man? Like, he is.
I feel the same way. And here's my biggest thing. If you look at their class top down, I mean, really, like, are we going to be surprised if they come out of like, okay, they had 8 picks? Are we going to be that surprised, Seth? Like, if you're just kind of forecasting this, projecting this class forward 2-3 years, are you going to be that damn surprised if they only come away with these 8 picks and they only get 2 starters out of it? And for me, that's a bad class. Like, you took 8 bites at the apple and you only came away with 2?
And in a year where Chris Ballard and the head coach are going, like, this is it for Shane Steichen. This is it for Chris Ballard, man. Like, it felt like those first 2 picks, like, the Colts are going for it. They know they have to win now.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was like, I don't know.
Someone else started day drinking and they're just like, all right, let's just mail it in. We're good, baby. They got the 2 first one right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just the rest of it, they just ran off of vibes, Seth.
Yeah. So you have a C for the Colts. I have a B minus. I'm gonna give them a C plus. I think I'm a little high on the B minus. So C for you. I was
like, you're being nice, dude. Come on.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Let's go to the Houston Texans. Round out this AFC South, which. I mean, I think everyone really, from a fantasy perspective, loves the Texans. But from a team build perspective, do you like what they did here, Nick Caserio and company, on Friday, Saturday, and Thursday?
I love this class. I love this draft. I'm giving them an A+, an emphatic A+. Dude, they traded down from the first round. So they slid back from the first round to 34th, and then they picked up a 99th overall pick, and they picked up a 3rd for next year. They're going to walk into next year's draft with 10 picks, Seth.
Wow.
5 picks inside of the top 100.
Wow.
So that type of trade down is huge for not only having the cupboard, like getting to the point where you can still get the guys you want, but then you're restocking all the ammo for next year too. So like that type of feasibility and just being able to move around the board and stuff like that and do what they want to next year, I think is huge. And then you dive into this class, bro. Like, I'm going to come out here and say it right now. CJ Stroud, bounce back season.
Yep.
Incoming, baby.
I'm with
you.
Like,
we need to bet, and I'm not going to be we need to take all those good vibes that we had about CJ Stroud entering last year. If he can recapture this, and Houston is saying, bro, we're going to give you every kind of chance that we can for you to recapture your rookie year vibes. Like, we need to be betting his MVP futures, Seth, and I don't think that that's crazy. This defense is freaking stocked. This division is ripe for the taking. And if you look at what they did in the freaking draft, dude, Jaden Higgins, my man crush on him. Getting him at the top of the second round. Eontae Ursary falling into the second round, which, okay, he was going to be a second round pick. That's where everybody kind of projected him. But doing what we hoped they would do, Seth, and adding to this offensive line with the moves they've already made, and I know they feel comfortable about it. Now, we can all go back and forth about how the players that they have in that room, but also those same players that are in that room right now, a lot of those same players are still part of the players that, like, last year before everything fell apart, we walked into last year before everything fell apart, Seth, feeling like that was going to be a good offensive line. Now, just because it didn't come to fruition, we cannot forget what they did in the previous season and the possibility that they can get back to that. Plus, they added Ursary. Plus, they added my dude Jalen Knoll, who the NFL messed the hell up, dude. The fact that he fell all the way to the 3rd round, that dude is going to have an Amon-Ra St. Brown type of outcome where he is writing down all of the freaking names of the teams and the players drafted in front of him. He is going to come in pissed off with a chip on his shoulder and show people who he is. But projecting a starting 3 wide receiver set, Seth, of Nico Collins, Jaden Higgins, and Jalen Knoll,
Yeah.
Holy crap. And if this offensive line gets better, and they added cornerback depth, and they added a passing down back in Woody Marks. Now, I'm not a big Woody Marks fan, but what he can just bring from a depth perspective, I'm totally fine with in the 4th round. Like, I would have gone other ways. Like, when you're looking at Jarquez Hunter, Giddens, Neal, Taj Brooks, all those guys were still on the board. I think we could split hairs. I'm not a Woody Marks fan.
Agreed.
Maybe I'm wrong there, and that's fine. But all of the other picks outside of drafting Graham Mertz, which, whatever, I could say that was like, okay. Well, just give the guy that a boy. But outside of that, dude, this is an A-plus class, and I'm telling you right now, I'm going to bet C.J. Stroud MVP futures. I'm betting them to win the division. I will take some Super Bowl odds bets on Houston right now. I think that they are going to freaking crush this year.
25-1 on CJ Stroud right now for MVP.
Let's go.
Yeah, not sure what that was before, if that's moved at all. Maybe it hasn't, but still, I really like that number. Oh, it's probably not.
It's not going to catch up. I doubt it.
And, like, I agree with you, Derek. I didn't give them an A-plus because of the Graham Mertz pick. Like, I was just like, I'm going to be like, what are you doing? Come on.
We've got it for you?
We've all watched this guy at Wisconsin, at Florida, brother. Like, he ain't in it. But, like, I love what they did. Not only do you add 2 dynamic weapons in Higgins and Knoll, but they're teammates. They have chemistry together. They know how to play. And from all, by all means, you talk to them in person. They seem very coachable, very likable, great locker room fits.
That's the thing. It's like, you're getting locker room fits. And that's one of the things that I love. Like, okay, straight up. The fact that both of the Iowa State guys that we love go to the same freaking team, and now they have to compete with each other again, and now they're competing with Nico Collins. Yeah. Does that suck? Yes, it emphatically sucks for us in fantasy football. But is it really damn good for the NFL? Is it really damn good for the Houston Texans and their roster and this offense? Oh, dude, for days. For days. And then also, like, if you just match up, like, people talk about it, and I think it's the right way to approach it. When you're building out a wide receiver room, you want to get a basketball lineup. You want to get a little bit of different flavors, guys that can do a lot of different things. You're talking about the mishmash of skill sets with Nico Collins, Jaden Higgins, who could play big slot and move inside-outside, and the same thing with Jalen Knoll and his verticality from the slot and the ability, like we've talked about in spades, to also play outside. This passing offense is going to be freaking dangerous, dude. Dangerous.
And you mentioned Woody Marks. Like, I'm not a big Marks guy either, but I think he's a great change of pace option compared to what Joe Mixon brings. And also, like, I've never been a big Dameon Pierce guy. I know he had the great, 1,000-yard rookie season, but I think he brings a different element there. Also, another Penn State guy they grabbed in the 6th, safety Jalen Reed. Reed had a really nice senior season. And also, Iowa tight end Luke Lachey, a good find in the 7th. Like, if you're going to take a dart throw on a tight end, why not do it from tight end U, baby, Iowa? So
Yep. It's a good depth signing, man. And so, I really appreciate everything they did in their draft.
Yeah, I think they could have maybe added a bit more help up front, but, we kind of talked about this in the pre-draft process a little bit. Like, they're trusting their guys. They have a couple guys, day 2 guys they added over the years that they can slot in there, and grabbing a guy like Irsay there out of Minnesota, I think will help kind of solidify that offensive line. So.
Like, if I want to split hairs, do I wish they would have added a D tackle before waiting all the way until the 7th round? Sure. Like, like we talked about it beforehand, like, who they have at tackle, it's solid, but it's not amazing. So, like, I thought that was quietly, like, a big need, and I thought D'Amico could have spent one of their early picks on it. But I think the big onus walking away from this is that Houston made a concentrated effort, and correct me if I'm wrong with this, Seth. I think Houston made a concentrated effort of saying, no, you know what? We will go as far as CJ Stroud will take us. Yeah. And we have to get him back right, and we have to get him back to looking like rookie season CJ Stroud. And I think that's the right approach, dude, because it's right. You are only going to go as far as your freaking quarterback can take you, because your defense can be as good as it wants to be. Unless it's like otherworldly elite in the Baltimore Ravens of yesteryear, you're not winning if you can't freaking put up 20, 25 points in the damn playoffs when you're going to, you're going through the gauntlet of the AFC. If you can't score points, you are not beating the Ravens. You are not possibly beating the Chiefs. You are not beating the Buffalo freaking Bills if you cannot score points.
Agreed. Agreed. Let's go ahead. Let's move to the AFC North. But first, I wanted to remind everyone that if you want a chance to win a signed DeAndre Swift Bears jersey for free, courtesy of our friends over at pristineauction.com, all you have to do is subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel right now. Drop a comment below on any Fantasy Pros Dynasty podcast video, and that's it. We will announce a winner right here on the podcast, so make sure you turn on those notifications so you can be alerted when new videos are up and to claim your prize. And deeper, let's go ahead. Let's shift into the AFC North, starting at the top of the board with the Cleveland Browns, who made the surprise pick to trade out of 2, back to 5, grab Mason Graham. How did you like what they approached and ended up with after all it was all said and done, especially making a very noteworthy 5th-round pick?
All right, so one, I'm going to be very honest about this. I was very hard on them. If you go back and anybody watches the stream about taking Mason Graham where they got him, is he a blue chip prospect? Yes. I didn't feel like, considering looking at this team and their needs at quarterback, should they have gone that direction inside the top 10? Now, we all saw how the quarterback board played out. We could all talk about that for days. Yeah. But looking at their draft class as a whole, yeah, dude, I got to give them an A-. I was hard on them on stream. Going back, diving through this further and understanding some of their needs that maybe, like, I didn't get enough time to, like, kind of dive through everything that they needed, the complexion of their roster before the draft, and now looking back at it with, 2020, hindsight's always 2020. So, and looking at their roster, taking Mason Graham, taking Schlesinger with their first 2 picks, I was like, are these really the big needs? But if you look at injuries to Michael Hall, injury to JOK, yeah, they were needs, and they filled both of them emphatically. And I think we could also craft a really good narrative, Seth, and it's the truth, though, too, that if Schlesinger just didn't have 1 year of production, if it was 2 years, maybe he's a first-round pick instead of being a second-round pick. So I think there is some baked-in value. But then also, again, addressing needs and getting ahead of needs, I think quietly this was a fantastic class. And I probably crapped on it way too much on the stream and stuff like that, so I'm owning that right now. So Browns fans, I'm sorry if you watch that back on the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel. I'm sorry. But looking at this more with 2020 vision and having more time to kind of process it, they needed to remake their backfield. They knew what they had and didn't have in Jerome Ford. So drafting not only Quinshon Judkins, but Dylan Sampson. I'm not high on Sampson. We've all talked about that, but other people in the process have been high on him. So if I'm wrong, and the other part about it is, like, you need a compliment probably to Quinshon Judkins, and I think they got that. Now, we could also, like, I could parse through for days, like, maybe some other guys that probably would have fit better as a compliment.
Yeah.
But taking Quinshon to lead and be your early down guy to soak up volume, getting Dylan Sampson and seeing can he be that lightning component opposite Quinshon Judkins, kind of like a Travion Henderson light version. As well as, dude, Harold Fannin, taking him in the 3rd round. I think that, like, we were kind of like, okay, how is the NFL going to view this guy? And 3rd-round capital, I think, was very telling. I was worried he was going to slip to the 4th, maybe the 5th round if the NFL says, look, like, we are out. And the Browns said, no, we are not out. We are really in. Like, 3rd-round capital, like, it doesn't have to be a 1st and 2nd-round pick. If you go through the laundry list of, like, crazy productive tight ends, Travis Kelce, George Kittle, all these other different guys, we're 3rd or 4th-round picks in the NFL draft. So don't shade that. And the other thing that I think people are going to miss with that pick particularly, David Njoku is a free agent after this year. Yep. They had to get a tight end to be the heir apparent. So in other mock drafts, like, I kind of went the Terrence Ferguson range. He wasn't on the board. He went, we'll get to him later in another episode. Yeah. But, dude, he went higher than we thought. So getting Fanning in the 3rd round. And then I think what makes this and could blow this entire draft class out the damn water, and they walk away with one of the best draft classes, period, bar none. If they get Shedeur Sanders to come in, and I think he's going to come in with a chip on his shoulder. I think he's going to come in ticked off. If this truly is, we walk like all these different guys, Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, all these guys walk into camp, and this is a true competition. Everybody is on equal ground. Okay, Joe, you're the veteran. You are definitively going to be starting in week 1. Okay, fine. But if this is a true competition in camp, the most talented quarterback on that damn roster is easily Shedeur Sanders. Now, I'm not going to touch and I'm not going to talk about him falling to the 5th round And what or why or any of the reasons
Yeah.
because of that, because we could be here for another freaking hour and a half talking
right.
about that, and I'm just not touching that. But I will say, anybody that tells you that Shedeur Sanders is not 100% the most talented quarterback on this roster right now is lying to you. And if he is a 5th-round pick and he walks away and he is their starter, their long-term future at quarterback, and he bucks all of that crap, this class was a damn home run, Seth. Home run.
Yeah, I totally get the A- grade. I gave it a B+ because, like, there's a couple things. One, if you're going to take Shedeur in the 5th, I love the value there. You and I both had Shedeur as a 1st-round pick. I mean, I bet on him to go in the top 10. I liked him a lot as a prospect. But why the heck are you taking Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd then? That pick makes no sense for me, so that dinged up for me. And also, like, I was not as high on Quinshon Judkins as consensus. Obviously,
I wasn't either.
So that pick when Henderson was still on the board, when we had some other running backs on the board, that was a little bit spotty. And then if you're just going to draft Dylan Sampson in the 4th too, doesn't make a ton of sense for me. I will say though, like, we're going to enter this 2026 NFL draft cycle, and regardless of if Shedeur Sanders works out or not for that 5th-round pick, the Browns are starting off on second base. Like, they're leading off here, man, because this is a loaded quarterback class coming, even if Arch Manning does not come out. We have Drew Aller coming out of Penn State, Lenore Sellers coming out of South Carolina, Cade Klubnik coming out of Clemson, Garrett Nussmeier for all the highs and lows he's had in his career coming out of LSU. Like, they are starting on second base, and they have the capital to get any of those guys they want. The only question is that plus Mason Graham worth missing out on Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter? Only time will tell.
Yeah, that's fair. And we didn't even talk about, picking up the other capital by moving back and stuff like that. So, yes, positioning yourself well. I think there was a lot of really, really good things. Now, yes, I agree with you. We talked about Quinshon. People go back and watch the running back episode. Neither one of us are in on Quinshon anywhere near consensus. I think his ability to soak up volume is really kind of where they went and why they went there. And I get that. So maybe I'm wrong, and Quinshon can be a better running back in the NFL than he showed in college. But a lot of times, if you can't break tackles really well in college, you can break tackles really well in the NFL. So I don't disagree, Seth.
Let's go ahead and move to the Cincinnati Bengals here, D-Bro. And this was a team we knew heading into this process they need to draft defense. They need to rebuild this defensive side of the ball after not addressing it for years and years. They go out, they sign T. Higgins, Jamar Chase re-inked to a new contract as well. Did they do enough, the Bengals, to be contenders in this loaded AFC North and AFC in general?
Hell no. Zach Taylor. Oh, their GM. Man, y'all got some explaining to do. I'm giving him a C-, dude. This class, when you go out and you pay T. Higgins, you pay Jamar Chase, and you're saying, I know the defense has had issues. I get it. I'm going to go back to something I kind of said earlier. This team will only go as far as Joe Burrow will take them. And if you cannot protect Joe Burrow with this dog water excuse of an offensive line that you didn't even freaking add until you took a guard at pick 81, how in the hell are you going to compete not only in the AFC North, but the rest of the AFC? Now, sure, we can all talk about, but Joe Burrow did it last year. He played behind a really similarly terrible offensive line. We're just going to roll that back. Dude, you're asking him to be Superman every single snap. And what are you doing from a perspective of, fine, he's able to cape up. I get that. What could Joe Burrow do for you if you give him clean pockets? And so knowing the status of this freaking offensive line, knowing that, Shamar Stewart we could talk about the testing. We could talk about his upside for days.
You're betting on traits, though.
You're betting on traits. Like, that's not the kind of pick. Like, if you already have, and here's the thing. We haven't gotten any resolution to Trey Hendrickson. We still don't know if he's going to be a Cincinnati Bengal in the year 2025. If he moves on, if that situation just sours, you took a high variance upside swing on a pass rusher that if he flops, this class is toast. I just don't understand going that direction in the first round. And it's too cute for me, man. And then you don't address the offensive line, which is the most glaring need that you have on this freaking team. It is. Outside of pass rush. So you took a wide variance pass rusher in round 1. You took a freaking linebacker in round 2.
Off-ball linebacker.
I'm not shading Demetrius Knight. I think he's a good player. But at that point in the draft, why did you invest in the damn offensive line, dude? Why? Do you not understand what stirs the drink in Cincinnati, right? Zach Taylor and the GM? Do you not? Because you act like you've just lost the entire onus of what actually makes your team go. And that's keeping Joe Burrow upright, keeping him healthy. You were in the Super Bowl a few years ago when you did that. So what the hell are you doing? And then the rest of their draft, they take another freaking linebacker. They take another guard in round 5. Sorry, you missed the boat. You should have done that earlier. You think the round 5 guard is even going to sniff the starting lineup? Maybe only because their other 2 guards on that roster are not freaking good. That doesn't make it a win, Zach Taylor. And then you take Taj Brooks, which I love Taj. Let's not get it twisted. I love Taj Brooks, and I love that pick in the 6th round. But again, they crapped the bed in rounds 1 through 5 before they got to Taj Brooks and decided to lay in it. So no, hell no. This class sucks. I'm sorry, Joe Burrow, but you got to go be Superman again. And you got no other help besides your 2-star receivers and Chase Brown to freaking do it.
Yeah, you're giving them a C-. I'm at a C, and maybe I could even be a little more tougher because, like you said, they're betting on the traits of Stewart in that first round. I don't know if I love that. And at the same time, how can you take an off-ball linebacker when there were not only serviceable offensive linemen, but good cornerbacks on the board as well? This secondary is really bad for the Bengals. Mike Hilton's still not signed, and this was a draft full of plug-and-play safeties and cornerbacks, in my opinion. We've talked about two safeties from Penn State already that went off the board in day 3, day 2. And, there were all these guys, Ben Morrison, Revell, who were injured and could be a starting cornerback in the league. So I'm with you. I think the Bengals...
I'm downgrading my grade. I'm so freaking mad about this. I'm getting them a D.
Okay.
I'm over it.
You gave him a D. I'll give him a C. It'll average out there. Still not very well. Let's move to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Did Omar Khan, the con artist, once again get it done here? They don't address quarterback till late in the draft. I was a little bummed out they didn't take Shador when he was falling. I thought Mike Tomlin could be the perfect guy to help coach him up after just a terrible weekend for the kid. What are your overall impressions of the Steel City right now?
So I'm going to grade them on a curve. And I'm grading them on a curve, Seth. I'm not pandering to the crowd right here.
This ain't a college class, D-bro.
Huh?
This ain't a college class. You can't be grading on a...
I am. We're the teachers here, Seth. We get to make our own rules, dude. Come on. We're setting the curriculum, okay? I'm grading them on a curve because I don't know why you make these moves and Aaron Rodgers isn't your starting week 1 quarterback. So my takeaway is that Aaron Rodgers will be, maybe by the time that you're all watching this, that maybe Aaron Rodgers has already signed his contract and he's a Steeler. But the way that I'm looking at this class is, this screams to me that Aaron Rodgers will be the starting quarterback in 2025 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I'm grading this class like we already have quarterback addressed, okay? So just have to put that out there.
Yeah.
I am giving them an A because I felt like their top 3 picks were just fantastic. Derek Harmon fits a huge need. Love that pick. We could talk about it for days. I think the fact that Kenneth Grant, Walter Nolan went off the board in the first round, because I didn't mock them in the first round, not because I didn't think they were first round talents. Their draft spots were all over the map, dude. I could see as many 3 or 4 defensive tackles going in the first round. I could see none or one going in the first round. So getting Derek Harmon at pick 21, I thought was fantastic. I mean, dude, my love for Caleb Johnson, and his fit in this outside zone running scheme was absolutely freaking fantastic. I mean, we've seen, and you could just point to the film, how good he is in outside zone runs. Pittsburgh last year, again, talking about the hand and glove fit, Pittsburgh last year was 8th in outside zone rushing attempts, 8th highest in the NFL.
Wow.
So a perfect fit. Now, while I hate that for Jaylen Warren, I think Caleb Johnson was a smash pick. I think he's going to take over this freaking backfield, be their early down horse. And then you get Jack Sawyer. Again, this defense is not young, bro.
Yeah.
It's not. So getting Jack Sawyer, who, dude, there was 2nd round talk on him, 3rd round talk.
Oh, yeah.
He falls all the way to the 4th round, and they snatch him up. I mean, it was cool. It was good picks for days, dude. And then going back to D tackle, in round 5. They give themselves an out with Will Howard getting a round 6, which Will Howard was getting some possible like round 3, round 4 buzz. And that's kind of how I had him graded as like around like a late day 2, early day 3 pick. So the fact that he falls to round 6, and people with whatever you think about Will Howard, I'm not saying that he's amazing, but I think he can be a serviceable backup or be a starter, a low-end starter in a pinch if everything were to hit for him. So, dude, I love this class by the Steelers. What are your thoughts, man?
I'm pretty happy with it. Like, I was very, very big on Kenneth Grant, so if we could have somehow got him at defensive tackle, like, that would have filled a big hole. Derek Harmon, though, still seems like a very quality player, and, like, I appreciate this young man's story, and, like, T's and P's out to him and his family. He lost his mother on Thursday night after the draft. So, yeah.
Reading that just, like, it hit me straight in the feels, man. I was like, oh, my God. But you love that. For everybody that doesn't know, I mean, you want to flesh that story out, like, kind of like what happened?
Yeah, so I believe his mother was on life support. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how she got on life support, but she's been on life support for some time, and then ended up having to pull the plug there on Thursday night. And she did see him get drafted, and so that was great to see. But yeah, so Derek Harmon, a very motivated guy coming to Pittsburgh. I love to see that. And like Captain Jack, man, in the 4th round. Are you kidding me? This was a guy that I really did think was going to go. Like, I thought he had Cincinnati Bengals 2nd round. Like, that was my pick because
I thought he was too, right? Man. Like, didn't this feel like he was going to be the Sam Hubbard replacement? Like, lockstep, like your lunch pail, DN, he's good versus the run, going to give you like a sturdy, like 6 to 7 sacks every year.
5-star recruit.
Yeah, man. Like, so for the Steelers to get him, I was like, oh, all right.
He's a Steeler, brother.
We're cooking, baby. We got some grit.
Yeah, despite being from the state of Ohio, playing for Penn State's arch rival in Ohio State, this guy was meant to be a Steeler, so I'm all in on that. And then like Will Howard too, bring his his college teammate with him, Captain Jack. I'm all about it. I like what they did. I wish they would have grabbed Shador, probably rather than Will Howard in the 5th round. But other than that, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers once again aced it. So congratulations to them. Congratulations to this class. I'm excited for Caleb Johnson. I'm excited for everything the Steelers are doing. And also, they got DK Metcalf for a 2nd round pick, brother. Like when you factor that in, I'm all in. Let's go to the Baltimore Ravens though here, Derek. How did you feel like their draft shaped up? I love that 1st round pick, Malachi Starks falling all the way to 27. Felt like a very Ravens-ish draft.
The perfect description. It was just the Ravens doing kind of Ravens things, man. Like getting really talented safeties in the 1st round, falling to them. Talented SEC guys. I mean, look, like the Starks pick was just fantastic. Mike Green falls to the 2nd round. I guess they were okay with his off the field stuff and all of that checked out, but he does fall for a player that a lot of people said like 1st round talent, but the off the field stuff I think definitely weighed in and why you saw him dip to the round 2. So we'll see. Like obviously that fits a need for them because we talked about it like whether it was on stream or prior. Like Van Noy's not getting any younger. Like they're not a team that likes to pay their edges and stuff like that. So other guys, like if they're headed out the door and stuff like that. So Mike Green was a fantastic pick. Emory Jones, probably going to be a guard in the NFL, but taking him round 3 filled a need. And then you just saw them just kind of stacking depth throughout the rest of the class, man. Addressing linebacker, addressing tackle, even grabbing a kicker and stuff like that. So like, while outside of their top 3 picks, like I might not be like head over heels in love for it. I think there was a lot of really good depth that was needed for their roster. So I'm giving them an A-. Where were you at?
Yeah, I'm in an A because not only do I think Starks will just he frees up Kyle Hamilton to just be Kyle Hamilton, right? He can play and anchor that back end. Mike Green, as you mentioned, off the field issues, push him down the board. But if there's a place you can get it together, kind of like Pittsburgh, I think Baltimore is an organization. They're buttoned up. They know how to get it done and how to be professionals. And I actually really like the 2 offensive linemen from LSU because Emory Jones in the 3rd, I think that's a great pick. And then Garrett Dellinger in the 7th. Like these guys, if Dellinger had to somehow get into the starting lineup, he already has some great chemistry with Emory Jones working down there in Baton Rouge for the last couple of years. So I like that. And like, I also like the fact like, hey, Justin Tucker, he's a future Hall of Famer, maybe the best kicker in NFL history, but we got to move on. It is time to add the future of that position, going Tyler Loop out of Arizona.
All his off the field stuff, dude. I think that's
like I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
He's going to get released and the more smoke that's come out about that, like where there's enough smoke, there's fire and stuff like that. So I think he's gone for good reason.
Yeah, so the Ravens, great job by them. You had an A-, I have an A. I think we both really liked this class either way. Let's go ahead. Let's move forward to the AFC East. But first, I did want to remind everyone that by now, most of you probably already heard of Reality Sports Online, the powerful fantasy sports platform where owners get to build and manage their fantasy team like an NFL general manager. But the question is, have you tried it yet? It's time to go see what all the buzz is in the Dynasty community. Free agency, multi-year contracts, a rookie draft, multi-team trades, franchise tags, contract extensions, first-round rookie options, automated contract, and salary cap functionality, and much, much more. If you think this all sounds really complicated, it's really not. And the best thing about Reality Sports Online Fantasy Front Office is that it takes no more time than a standard fantasy football league. It just requires a bit more strategy. If you think you're among the fantasy elite, well, this is the platform to test your mettle. Still not sure? You can test out your GM skills for free in a mock free agency auction. If you like what you see, use the promo code FANTASYPROS to receive a 10% discount on your team or league today. Again, that's promo code FANTASYPROS to receive a 10% discount on your team or league today. Fantasy just got real at realitysportsonline.com. All right, let's move to the AFC East. The New England Patriots, no longer under Bill Belichick, no longer under their previous tenure of a head coach that lasted 1 year, and Gerard Mayo as well. So Mike Vrabel, Josh McDaniels, Elliott Wolf and company, they strapped in for an NFL draft where they had the 4th overall pick. Did they do enough, though, Derek, to earn a high praise and high grade from you?
Man. All right, so I'm going to stand a little bit opposed to our colleague Andrew Erickson, who gave them, I'm going to say he's a homer, gave them an A-. I can't get there, dude. I give them a B.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of variability in this class. One, if Will Campbell doesn't stick a tackle, you really going to be happy you drafted him at 4th overall? I understand the need. I get it. But I just, dude, it's either trade down or I would have rather them select Armand Membu. Like, that guy is a straight-up tackle. Like, we can debate whether he plays right side or left side and his fit and stuff like that, but I know he's a freaking tackle. Like, Campbell has to stick at tackle for that pick to pay off at 4th overall.
Did you hear a soundbite, though?
Oh, go ahead. Tell me.
He had a soundbite. They asked him how he was going to protect Drake May. He said he would die on the field to protect Drake May. So great soundbite, but the arms are concerning, I think, for sure.
Great soundbite, but if he's dying on the field at guard, you're still not going to be happy that you used a top 5 selection to freaking get him, man. So
yeah.
Travion Henderson, I love the player. And just my whole thing with picking him in the 2nd round and looking at this roster and all of the needs and stuff like that, is that really where you needed to go? When you already had Ramondre Stevenson, you already had Antonio Gibson, and I'm not telling people to be high on them, but again, like, was running back where they needed to go at that point in the draft? That's where I'm kind of like, I like Travion, and this is not Travion, but like, again, going further down the board, I really, really love the Jared Wilson pick in the 3rd round. Like, he is a definitive starting center. He's going to be solid for them. I don't think that he's going to turn into some all-pro center, but is he going to be a starting level caliber center in the NFL for the next 5 to, 10 years? Probably. Okay, so I like that pick. But, dude, I feel like looking at what they did, and I know that there are stands for this guy out there. I mean, we've all been out there on social media. There is a hive that freaking loves Kyle Williams. I'm not part of that hive, dude. Like, I'm sorry, late breakout, late career numbers for Kyle Williams. Sure, he's fast and all this other kind of stuff. I don't see a high-end talent. The way that I look at, dude, I cannot square it to myself taking Kyle Williams over Jalen Noel. And I know that is splitting hairs, and I know I'm caping up for my guy, but I'm sorry, man. Like, this feels like taking Jalen Polk and not getting Ladd McConkey all over again to me. And I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. I can't get down with that. Like, and fine. Is that particular to me and how I evaluated these guys? Yeah, but guess what? I'm doing the damn grading. So that's how I feel about it, man. Like, I'm not as high on this. Like, Sure, like did they add depth throughout the rest of their class? Okay, fine. That's good. But the other thing about it is like outside of Travion, if you count him towards the passing attack, and outside of Kyle Williams, what else did you do to help this freaking passing attack and Drake May? Is that really enough? I don't think it is, Seth.
Yeah. I will say this. So last night, my brother was in town. We fired up NCAA 25, and he was Georgia, and I was Wazoo. I feeded Kyle Williams he finished this game, Derek, with like 12 receptions, 200 yards.
But Kyle Williams doesn't play real football as well as you play Madden. Yeah. I mean, as well as you play video games, sir.
Yeah.
So
but Kyle Williams is just a strange prospect because like he really had the breakout after Cam Ward leaves, right? Like no one would have kind of expected that, and I do agree with you. Like while I like that sound bit from Will Campbell, it feels tough to miss out on like that top tier elite talent at the top of the draft when you had the 4th overall pick. So I'm totally down with you for there. I gave him a B+ specifically because I like Joshua Farmer. He was a huge contributor that they got in the 4th round. Back when Florida State had that amazing 2023 season that everyone was so mad they got snubbed from the postseason, this defensive tackle was absolutely wrecking run games across the ACC. So I thought that was a really nice addition late in the 4th round. I don't hate Kyle Williams, I think, as much as maybe you or a lot of people, but
fair.
I'm definitely not like a Kyle Williams stand. I think now he's going to be a great value in drafts. Like I'm targeting him in rookie drafts just because there's not much there besides Stephon Diggs. So I'm all right with what the Patriots did. I don't love it by any means, but I totally understand kind of the overall B grade for you.
Yeah, dude, I mean, come on. This is your wide receiver room after Stephon Diggs. And you tell me if this feels like they did enough, Seth. Mac Hollins, Pop Douglas, Kayshon Boutte, Kendrick Bourne, John Giles, Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, Jaquan Jackson, Kyle Williams.
Yeah.
That really feeling like we did enough for Drake May? In his second year? We're maximizing the rookie deal for Drake May.
I was looking at the Cowboys depth chart at receiver. We'll talk about that in our NFC show.
Yeah, well, that's comparing uglies right there.
Yeah, that might be worse. Yeah, Let's go to the
is.
New York Jets. And D-Bro, I've deferred to you on a lot of these grades first, but I got to throw my one out for the Jets because I'm a Frisky Jets fan. I have a Frisky Jets line of T-shirts that we've dropped over on the IBT site. I love the Jets, but like, what the heck was this? D+ for me. I know Membu.
Man. Come
dude,
on.
listen.
You're coming in with salt. I love this. Go ahead. I'm just going to sit back here and listen. Go ahead.
How can you take Membu when, all accounts are saying he's going to be a great tackle, but at the same time, you passed on Brock Bowers last year for Olu Fashanu out of Penn State, who also plays this same position. And the line is sturdy now. I think the line was sturdy before this, but now it's just going to be Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Justin Fields' legs. Like, that's the offense here. And Mason Taylor's solid, but we've talked about that he kind of lacks that elite upside a little bit. I had other tight ends I would have preferred they go with. And, like, my favorite picks probably on this entire team that they went after, I love the Bama safety, Malachi Moore in the 4th. He was banged up a lot this past season, but when healthy, he was a beast. And then Azrai Thomas as well, Florida State cornerback, another guy who had a big role in that 2023 team in the 3rd. I like those picks, but, like, Arian Smith in the 4th, early 4th, when there were guys who have actual hands. There are guys who have actual hands
man,
there.
You went there. I love it.
I mean, Ayo Manor was on the board, dude.
No, I know Jalen Royals is still on the board.
Yeah,
look, we're like this, and I'm go ahead. I didn't mean to.
That's it. That's it for me, brother.
Dude, I'm with you on this, and I'm just live updating my grade as we're going through this. Like, I'm like, yeah, you're making a lot of really good points. I was a little bit too nice. I'm dropping them to a C. So here's the thing. I love the Membu pick in the 1st round. Mm-hmm. I'm fine with that because I feel like if you look at just from not only like need, because they needed a starting right tackle, not only from need, but also you look at Justin Fields, you need to give him the cleanest pockets and the most time in the pocket that you possibly can. I have no issues with that. But agreed with after that, like in the 2nd round, like Mason Taylor, I've talked about him, like we've talked about him in spades, Seth. Like, he's a solid prospect. I don't see the ceiling with him. So is he going to be a needle mover for you? I don't think so. I think you're getting a solid starting.
You're getting
tight
Tyler
end.
Conklin, who you just had.
I mean, dude, my comp for him is Jermaine Gresham. So, like, again, I think he's solid. I don't think he's amazing. Here's my big problem. Twofold. Ezra Thomas, I don't have a problem with the value in the third round. You just went out and paid Brandon Stevens. So why did you go pay Brandon Stevens just to turn around and draft another corner in the third round instead of going with a pass catcher?
And they got to pay Sauce soon, too.
Yeah, dude. And then after that, like, just like you said, Arian Smith, bro, come on. Like, are you serious?
He's not even fast. We thought he was fast. Not even that fast.
I get he's fast, but he ain't that fast. And the other thing about it, I mean, I don't know if I ever shared my comp for him, and I feel like this is very apropos for Arian Smith. You ever see the replacements?
Yes.
My comp for Arian Smith is Clifford Franklin. Fast as all get out, can get open, can't catch anything. And it's like, dude, like, but look at the depth charts. It's like, fine, we give Justin Fields a ton of time in the pocket. Who the hell is he throwing the ball to besides Garrett Wilson and maybe Mason Taylor? It's a whole lot of what the heck are you doing, dude?
I like Malachi Corley, too.
I don't. I think Malachi Corley was a terrible pick and should have. Anyway, I could go down a long rabbit hole with that. But like the rest of this draft, dude, I feel like they kind of got lost in the sauce and kind of like lost the reason of what they should be addressing and stuff. Like the Azari Thomas pick makes zero damn sense to me when you went out and you paid Brandon Stevens. If there was a hole at corner, I understand it. But drafting him when you already filled the need in free agency and paid the dude not like an otherworldly contract, but good enough, why didn't you again take another pass catcher?
Right.
Like you filled the need with your first pick. You filled the need with your second pick. And then they just crap the bed with their third and fourth round picks where I'm just like, I'm not hating on Thomas as a player and the value they got on him, but the need wasn't there. And you still didn't address pass catcher because Arian Smith has frying pan hands.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the big thing about pass catcher is they got to catch passes. Right, Seth?
They do. And funny enough, going back to the NCAA game last night, my brother was Georgia. Arian Smith can't catch it in the video game either. So
did he drop one in the video game too? Oh, dude.
Fourth down, needed it, could have got back in the game. Yeah, Arian Smith doing Arian Smith things, brother.
You're like, oh man, we're looking in the crystal ball future for the Jets.
Let's go to the Miami Dolphins. Was it a little better draft for Mike McDaniel and company down there, you think?
Yeah, I think it was solid. I gave him a B, man. Look, I mean, I feel like their first two picks filled huge needs.
Yes.
Okay. And, people were surprised. I think they went D-tackle. Dude, I was screaming the entire process. My first few mocks, I was actually giving them either Kenneth Grant or Walter Nolan consistently.
Wow.
Yeah, no, like I was on them getting a D-tackle. Now, my final mock, because of how I had it shifted out, Mason Graham fell to them. But I was right on the need there. D-tackle, looking at their depth chart, was horrible. Horrendous. They had nobody basically like to throw at the position. So getting Kenneth Grant, I thought was a really good pick. Jonas Avenel was another smash pick. But then after that, it was kind of hitting ground rule doubles and like, okay, fine. Like Quinn Ewers, round 7. Like you just could have let him go undrafted. It's okay. Like it's totally fine. Like I'm sorry, but that was a burnt pick. He's probably never going to see the field. If he does see the field, it's not going to be pretty. You get Ollie Gordon there, who like we laud and we talk about like the Dolphins coveting speed and in their run game and stuff like that. Well, Ollie Gordon might be a lot of things. Fast ain't one of them.
Yeah.
So like, I just felt like I loved their first two picks. The rest of it was kind of like Jordan Phillips. Again, D tackle was a big need. But the other part about this too, Seth, is that like, I mean, they had 2 picks inside the top 100. So it's like, how good can you feel about a draft class whenever it's like your only premium picks are both in the top 40 and then you have squadoosh until you get into the 140. So it's like, how good can you really feel about a class when that's the case? So I gave him a B.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it was a B for me too. And like, I love the Kenneth Grant pick. I love going back into the trenches in the second round. Arizona guard Jonas Savania. Like those are great picks, but they didn't have a pick then till the 5th round. And like, I just would have preferred other skill players than Ollie Gordon and Quinn Ewers. That's really all it is. Same. So B for the Dolphins. Let's go to the Buffalo Bills to round out this division. Derek, do you like what Brandon Beane did here? Kind of said like, we're good on offense, brother. Let's get this defense in better shape to beat the Chiefs finally.
Dude, I love this draft. I'm much higher. I saw Andrew Erickson gave him a B. Like, this is an A plus draft class for me. I
Wow.
love this draft class because they just consistently filled big needs on this defense. You got Bosa only on a 1-year deal, so you go out and you get edge help. Landon Jackson falls to freaking 3rd round, and they scooped him up. Home run pick. Then they get TJ Sanders. We could talk about, okay, was it maybe a little bit early for TJ Sanders? Fine. But the other part about it, D-tackle was a big need. You go all the way back to the 1st round. Okay, we talked about it, and I bet it. We bet it. We talked about it on the betting show about the Buffalo Bills taking a cornerback with their 1st overall pick. That was plus 200, plus 250. So if you chase that bet on Betting Pros, you're welcome. You cashed it. With Maxwell Harrison, we could talk about all the different corners that were on there. But again, addressing a need. And they go back to D-tackle with Deion Walker in the 4th round, address cornerback. Again, corner was a monster need for this team. So taking 2 swings at it, 2 swings at D-tackle, and then rounding it out the rest of it with depth. Jackson Hawes, who I don't think is a great player, but like you know what he's going to be. He is going to be a 12 personnel tight end, and he's going to block his butt off for you. So if that's all you're asking for out of your freaking 5th round pick, fine. I love this draft for the Bills because, again, you want teams to either add on to strengths and make something that's really damn good elite, or you want them to address needs and get really talented players. The Buffalo Bills said, these are the needs that we have, and we are going to emphatically address them. I love that approach.
Yeah, I do too. I went a B plus, a little less aggressive, and like I think one of the main reasons is like I like the Hairston pick. I think they need to go cornerback early. I just don't know how good of a player he's going to be. Like, I get he's fast, and he was really, really good in 2023, but definitely regressed in 2024 a little bit. So I have...
If that was Trey Amos, what would your grade be? Like, if it was a corner you liked in the draft, would you have bumped him to like an A or an A plus?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just parsing through it.
Yeah.
It's like,
and like,
okay.
Deion, I love the Deion Walker pick. I could not believe he was there when they got him because, I mean, if you watch that Kentucky-Georgia game, this guy was clogging up every dang run hole that ETN and company were trying to run through. So I love that pick. As you said, Landon Jackson, great value out of Arkansas. TJ Sanders out of South Carolina. Those are awesome picks. The only other weird thing for me, did you need Caden Prather in the 7th? Like, I feel like you already have an unathletic X receiver on the team in Keon Coleman, so I just don't know. I just don't know. I like Keon Coleman.
I didn't know if you were gonna go there, but you shaded Keon. I'm here for it.
You know, yeah, it's just a similar player. So those are the only things. Prather in the 7th, I don't know if I love. And I like Hairston, but I just don't know what we're getting from him in the 1st round. So those are the only things, but other than that, I love what they did. So congratulations to the Bills once again crushing it, man.
I didn't think we were getting Keon Coleman shade on the show today. Okay.
He was another guy in my Dynasty rookie draft that got moved around for like a 3rd and 4th pick last night, which I would have taken for him.
Man.
I like him.
Mr. Fitzmaurice and myself, we fought tooth and nail about last process about Keon Coleman. I was out, he was in.
Okay.
It was a spirited debate.
Okay. But before we continue, and speaking of Dynasty Rookie Drafts, you should be definitely checking out our Dynasty Rookie Draft Simulator that lets you complete a mock draft in minutes with no waiting between picks. You customize your league settings that match your league's exact formats. Premium subscribers can test trade scenarios by mocking with their trade draft picks and prepare for your rookie drafts and Dynasty startup drafts all in one place. Use the Dynasty Rookie Draft Simulator to dominate your rookie draft today at fantasypros.com/simulator. Man, I love this sim. It's been one of those things for years. Like, I get into these Dynasty rookie drafts, and like in the 3rd round, I have friends who are texting me like, I don't know any of these players on the board. I'm like, well, you weren't obviously watching my show with Derek, and obviously you weren't using the simulator. So make sure you guys are doing that over there at fantasypros.com/simulator. All right, and let's go ahead. Let's move forward. Let's round out the show here, D-Bro, with the AFC West and the Las Vegas Raiders. What'd you think about this new look Raiders team, what they've been doing with Tom Brady potentially calling the shots from behind the scenes?
I think you can make a really easy case. This was the best draft class of the entire NFL.
Agreed.
And I mean, again, apparently, so you don't think that I'm being hyperbolic with that? I gave them an A++++++. Like, they hit an absolute and utter grand slam here. I loved everything they did in this class. I mean, dude, getting Ashton Genty. He's going to be the workhorse, the engine of your offense.
Yep.
Darian Porter, bro, if there was ever, like, you made a Pete Carroll, like to harken back to the Legion of Boom, you make a athletic, big cornerback that can run out. Now, we could talk about his game for days and the things he's got to clean up. If it all hits, he's going to be really stinking good. He is a Pete Carroll corner. Then you get Jack Besh, who is not only going to be, I think, that, again, the best football was in front of Jack Besh. You take him in the second round. He's a culture fit. He's a dog. He's going to block his ass off. And he's going to be a guy that is pushing every single other person around him. And again, we have not seen the best football out of him. Then you take 2 swings at tackle in the third round, Charles Grant and Caleb Rogers. So whatever happens or does not happen with Colton Miller, hopefully you're trying to cover yourself, as well as if Glaze isn't that guy. You're basically drafting 2 possible guys and saying, look, if we get 1 starter out of this, cool. If we get 2 out of it, bro, we are cooking. And then after that, Dante Thornton, talked about him all draft process. I don't care that he's really, really fast and he's big and he runs go routes, deep overs. If you look at his fit for this offense, they've got tons of route winners and guys they're going to pepper in the underneath in Genty, Bowers, Myers, and Besh. Thornton can get on the outside and blaze dudes and take the top off the freaking defense. So that pick, loved it. They go with JJ in round 6 to, like, they get the beef up front in round 4 and round 6 with Hemingway and Pegas. Like, bro, come on, man. Like, this draft class was, I mean, dude, it was a masterclass. It was awesome to see them go and attack all of their needs, get really good fits, and really build the composition of a roster where it's like, oh, holy shit, maybe the Raiders could compete for a wild card spot this year.
I mean, it's a loaded division, but dude, like I'm with you. I gave it an A+. I mean, you mentioned, I don't have much to add, but 2 culture guys right off the bat with Genty and Besh. You love that. You love the Darian Porter value that they got there as well. And then, like, just kind of use the rest of their draft to address wide receiver in the trenches. Dante Thornton Jr., like, I am, like, a little sad because I have a bunch of Trey Tucker that's kind of just been clogging rosters in Dynasty. But, like, it tells you all, you know, they think about him. So I'm with you, man. The Raiders, I don't know, like, how I could get invested. Maybe it's a season win total, but I'm definitely going to be looking the Raiders' way a little bit here. I think in some future betting markets for sure.
Yep. No, I agree. Depending on what the odds are, I think betting their over for wins is already, like, I'm going to lock it in. I'm betting it today on Betting Pros.
Let's go ahead. Let's go to the Denver Broncos. What did you think about the Broncos draft here in Sean Payton's second year with the franchise?
I gave him a B. I love their first 2 picks. I absolutely love their first 2 picks. Getting Jahdae Barron, putting him at nickel. I mean, dude.
This is the best secondary in the entire league.
Good luck. That's all I can say. Good luck to any team that's going to try to throw the ball on the Denver Broncos. You better hope you could run the damn ball, because if you're going to drop back to pass, it's going to be an adventure. And all I can say is good luck. And then getting RJ Harvey. I mean, we waxed and waned just poetic on this guy the entire process. My RB5 going into the NFL draft, my RB3 of this class coming out of it after landing a spot. I love this dude. I think he's a lockstep fit. Anybody that's going to shade him, look, I'm sorry you weren't high enough on him pre-draft. That's not my fault. That's your own. But looking at the rest of this draft, I thought that, like, after their first 2 picks, it's kind of where it came off the rails a little bit for me. Like, Pat Bryant in round 3.
He's like the heir apparent to Cortland Sutton, right?
I mean, dude, but did you have to take him in round 3?
Right,
like,
right.
I don't see how he was going to, like, outside of Sean Payton. But Sean Payton has evoked the name of Michael Thomas. Bro, I don't see that, but okay, whatever. Hopefully, like, that turns out to be a thing. But then the rest of it was just filling needs and stuff with good but maybe not great picks. So it's just tough. Like, if they would have had better selections, I felt like maybe in round 3 or maybe another, like, player in round 4 that I could really, like, hang my hat on.
Yeah.
Maybe this was an A class for me, but it's just a B.
Yeah, I have an A-. Is their grade, and maybe I do need to amend that.
Who did you love after the top 2 picks then? Like, who pushes it into A territory? Like, who are you gravitating to with those rest of those picks?
Well, I don't think going after 2 SEC edges in round 3 and round 4 hurts. Like, one of those guys are probably going to hit just due to the SEC and what the caliber of defenders were coming out of there. Like, there's nothing I'm jumping on my seat for. And, like, I think I like Pat Bryant just because, again, I watch a lot of Big Ten football, and this guy really was everything for Illinois' passing game. So I think Pat Bryant can be great, but to me, it's like his ceiling is like a lesser Cortland Sutton, so I don't know if that was the right move. Like, I almost would have rather seen someone like a Knoll or, someone like that kind of come here that can play immediately out of the slot because they're going to still be rolling out Vele. So you're probably right. I'm going to amend it. We're going to go B+ here. I'll make sure I amend that we put it on the graphic.
My thing, if you were going to go the big X receiver route, not like there weren't guys that you could do that, but I felt like you could easily take those swings late. Like, is there a big, giant difference between a Pat Bryant and even like somebody like an Andrew Armstrong? Like at the very, very tail end of it, these other guys, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of where I fell on it, where it was like, okay, I just didn't love where they went after their top 2 picks, but I did love their top 2.
I love Barron. Yeah, I love Barron.
Yeah,
man.
that was an elite
that's gonna
choice.
Be scary, man. That's gonna be a scary secondary for sure. Sit your fantasy wide receivers against the Denver Broncos, please. That's a little free advice there for you. Let's go to the Chargers. Derek Brown. I really love this draft, man. Like, I feel like you can really see Jim Harbaugh's knowledge of this current class paying off. What did you think of the Chargers overall class? What grade did you give it?
Oh, I gave him an A-, man. I like this class. I thought it was really, really good. I mean, getting Hampton in round 1 falling to them, I thought was fantastic. You know my love for Trey Harris, so getting him to play opposite Lad McConkey.
The whole world knows, brother.
Bro, I mean, but it was a perfect fit stylistically, and I think people are going to put a lot more respect on Trey Harris's name with this landing spot and what he can do. I mean, I don't even know if Mike Williams even makes it out of camp. I'm not worried about Quentin Johnston. And they show that they're willing to lean on like a rookie and Ladd last year. So I think they can definitively do that. And then they just went down the board answering needs, dude. Yep. Getting Caldwell at D tackle in round 3, getting Kennard to help out.
The 4th,
man. Bro,
in
round 4 was a steal. And they go back and they get a Rondé Gadsden in round 5. Like, you wanted the not the dollar store version of like, but the similar archetype of like Harold Fannin and that entire archetype of the big slot wide receiver. That's Gadsden, dude. And so like getting him in round 5, I thought was fantastic. So like, I thought they addressed a lot of freaking needs. The 2 safeties they got at the end, again, giving them depth. I love their class. That was wonderful.
Yeah. It felt like last year was really about building that Jim Harbaugh culture, building through the trenches. And this class was, hey, let's give Justin Herbert some serviceable weapons in Hampton, in Harris, that he can go make a run. I know a lot of people are higher up on, some people call him a talented wide receiver, but Keandre Lambert-Smith out of Auburn, former Penn State guy. I'm not as high on him, but still take a flyer with him. And I love I love the Rondé Gadsden, the second pick, because this is a guy –
really underrated
and he doesn't have to play right away. They have Disley. They have Tyler Conklin. So, like, he can kind of just sit there and develop. And I wouldn't be shocked if 2 or 3 years from now, Gadsden's a guy who is the every down tight end for this team. So, I'm with you. It's an A for me. You have an A- for the Chargers. Good on them. Let's round out the program here at the Kansas City Chiefs, Derek. What did you think Andy Reid and company did here? What is your grade for the Chiefs?
I love and I hate it. I'm just going to throw that out there. I hate everything about this class, from like looking at it, trying to figure out what the hell to do from a fantasy angle.
Yeah.
I love this class from what they did, though. I gave them an A. Josh Simmons is a fantastic pick. I mean, dude, like, you're not asking him to do anything this year. He's just the guy that can step in and be your starting tackle next year. So love that. Yeah. And if he was healthy, there's no way in hell he's available at 32nd overall pick. Then getting Lott in the 2nd round, you needed help on the defensive line. Going back to it in the 3rd round, getting cornerback help in the 3rd round with Noah Williams. Again, I talked about him earlier and why he was still on the freaking board. Then you get Jalen Royals in the freaking 4th round. Plus, like, they got 2 of my dudes out of this class. They signed Elijah Badger as a UDFA, not just throwing that because it's part of the class in here.
Yeah.
And Brashard Smith. Dude, if we look up in week 7 and Brashard Smith is leading this backfield, or he's playing the Jerick McKinnon role, nobody should be surprised at all, dude. So, again, it's a really good class by the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Like, I think I would have liked to see them. Like, I do like Brashard Smith. You've been talking him up for a long time. But in a running back class this deep, I would have liked to see them maybe add someone a bit more of a power back that could have compliment it or maybe even push Isaiah Pacheco out, because Pacheco is on the last year of his rookie deal. So I just would have liked them to maybe find a suitable replacement for him. But overall, the Chiefs addressed the positions that lost them the Super Bowl. So how can you give them anything less than a B+ for me? So it's a B+ for me. It's an A- or an A for you. That is going to do it for us today on this episode of the Fantasy Pros NFL Draft Show. Be sure to check out our NFC grades episode. They'll be dropping later this week. Again, please like this video if you enjoyed it. Also, subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel and the podcast feed. For Derek Brown, I'm Seth Woolcock. Take care, y'all.
Thanks for listening to the Fantasy Pros Dynasty Football Podcast. If you love the show, the best free way to support us is by leaving a positive review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Follow us on X, Instagram, and TikTok at Fantasy Pros, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/fantasypros.